My name is Todd Hodnett. I own Accuracy First and I design the TREMOR reticles. Today what we're going to do is take a real short clip and look at the TREMOR3 and how to use it with your weapon system. So as you look at the TREMOR3, you'll see some things that you may have seen before. When I designed the H58 and H59, I placed this dot on the main crosshair where you had a refined point that you could actually focus at and still be able to see the target when you were zeroing at 100 meters or potentially dialing up and shooting a target a long ways off without having those crosshairs cover up the target that you're looking at. All right, again, going left and right below the crosshair line, all right, we have 0.2 mil subtension lines with 1 mil marks being the major lines and 0.2s being the 4 little marks in between, just like the H58 and H59. All right, above the crosshair we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. All right, these are mile-an-hour movers. We'll talk about those later. All right, above those numbers we have from the crosshair up to this line 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1 mil. All right, now this is just 10th mil measuring tool to where we can mil more refinedly. All right, again, same thing with the chevron here. From here to here is 1 mil, but from here to here is 0.2, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1 mil. This is where the reticle got its name, the refined mil reticle. All right, that's where TREMOR came from. So it gives you the capability, if you're milling from here to this line and it's barely over that line, it'd be like 0.72, where if it's barely under it, you can see it as 0.68. All right, so it gives you that capability to be within 0.02 really easily. All right, so now going below the crosshair. All right, so here on this line, this is half mils, but these are wind dots. And for this example, we're going to talk about these as 4 mile-an-hour wind dots. We'll show you later how you can calibrate them for any weapon system from your pellet rifle to your 50 cal. All right, so they're perfectly calibrated to match your weapon system. They're not ballistic, but they are actually purely ballistic and they perfectly match your weapon. All right, so now, just like in the H59, you have 0.2 mil subtensions, all right, for 3 mils out left and right in the first segment, all right? But we erased underneath the secondary stadia lines and put wind dots. Now you'll see that the fourth wind dot is a little bit larger, just like the TREMOR2. What we wanted to do, we wanted to make sure you could actually pick it up quickly. By picking it up quickly, you wouldn't have to count. That's why we made it larger. But one of the differences with the TREMOR3 as opposed to the TREMOR2, with the TREMOR2 we had a cross right there. With the TREMOR3 we have just a larger dot. So every dot is a mile-an-hour indication, where every line is a mil line. All right, so going out here, extended mils. All right, this is so we are not holding out in space, all right, if the winds get up that great. So again, these are lines, not dots. All right, so every dot in the reticle is a mile-an-hour, all right, where every line indicates that it's a mil. So below the 10 mil line, we have crosses at the half mil dots, where here we had wind dots, but they were elevation-wise based on the half mil marks. Down below the 10 mil line, we just have crosses. Now, the reason we did this was we had some people with the TREMOR2, once they got below the 10 mil line, they still thought they were working in wind dots, and it was just half mil indications. So that's all it was. So we tried to stop the confusion and actually had just the crosses below the 10 mil lines. And so now we're going to talk about the wind dots and how to use the wind dots. All right, so let's say that we're shooting a target for this weapon system's 435 meters. We're going to use line 3. So we place the target on line 3. All right, but this is 4 mile-an-hour and 8 mile-an-hour, all right, for the weapon system that we're using. All right, so I would place the target, winds from the right, so we move the reticle to the right, and we place the target over the second dot. All right, so we move into the wind with the crosshair. If we shoot and we actually hit where this dot is here, being our 12 mile-an-hour dot, our second shot correction would be just to move the target over to where the bullet hit on the reticle. Now we have a perfect second shot correction. All right, but another one of the nice things about the reticle is now we take a target and place it on the reticle, and we find that we thought it was between 8 and 12 mile-an-hour, but now if it is 8, I'm going to miss off the right side. If it's 12, I'm going to miss off the left side. So as the wind starts to lull, I'll move this dot over here to the 8, or if it starts to gust, I'll move it over here. So it gives you the ability to see the bracket of wind on the target. Just in the same way, you may take a fairly large target and just know the wind's moving from the right, but with this target, as you can see, if we place it right on the right edge, we have all the way up to 20 miles an hour is going to be on the target. So if the wind's blowing 20, it's going to hit the left side. If wind stops, it's going to hit the right side. So if we know wind's coming from the right, we could actually fudge over a little bit, and now we've got even increased wind that we're working with. So it actually shows you the bracket of wind on the target. So this is one of the key aspects when using the trimmer, as opposed to other type of reticles where you're actually having to do a wind formula every time. For 10 miles an hour gusting to 15, you're doing two different wind formulas. With here, we just see if 10 and 15 fit on the same target, of which they do on this one, and so we could go ahead and take the shot knowing that your bullet's going to hit the target with confidence. When you're dealing with different targets, all right, you may be shooting a close target up here with the 16-mile-an-hour wind dot. Once you shoot and you get a good hit in the center of the target, you know your wind's 16. Then as we shoot further out, you just use 16 again and pull the trigger. If the wind is 16 miles an hour and it hasn't changed in cosine or from direction, all right, you're able to continually work quickly from 16 mile an hour up here to 16 mile an hour down here very rapidly without having to do any formulas. So this is one of the benefits of the trimmer wind dot. We don't have to do the wind formulas anymore. The actual reticle is calibrated to your weapon system.